Welcome back to Comics Experiment. We took a bit of a hiatus because we were officially moving the set and changing over sponsors. This is the show that I get together on a regular basis with my two teammates. I said regular. We changed it.
I also like that he said teammates and not friends anymore.
They've been arguing with me all morning.
That's not true.
Yes, you have.
Nuh-uh.
We get together and we discuss things in the world of comic books, from a funny list like how many times has Batman punched Superman, or we discuss stuff going on in the world of comic books like what's going on with the latest event and stuff like that. For today's topic, we're going to be looking at something that has just happened in Gotham Knights. How many times has Batman died?
Spoiler alert, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, how dare you spoil the thing that happens at the very start of the game.
And in the trailer.
And in the trailer.
And in the trailer.
So we're going to talk about how many times has Batman died across the history of it. Today's sponsor is actually a new sponsor, Sups. They're an energy supplement which has a less chalky taste and a little bit less caffeine overall with each serving, which is why I've decided to swap over to them. Plus, they have these waifu cups.
I was going to say, that's the real reason. Don't lie to the people.
Okay, the story behind this is we were talking about doing a different project, and one of our teammates was like, so you're describing waifu cups? And I said, what are you talking about? And now I started buying them. And then when we were looking at new sponsors, I was like, let's just hit them up. So waifu cups. But they are an energy drink supplement. They come out with a lot of great flavors. They're a lot less chalky. They blend in a lot better with the water. Overall, I've been enjoying their product. So if you use the code COMICS at checkout, you'll get yourself 10% off of your order. Help us achieve some goals with this new sponsor by going over there and keeping this show around. Also, I'm not sure where this show is going up live yet, but if it does go up on Comicstorian and didn't get moved to Absolutely Marvel and DC, I wanted to let you guys know we have an entire podcast channel called Absolutely Marvel and DC, where I sit around with everyone except Andy talking about stuff. So we had to bring back Comics Experiment, so Andy's on a show because I refused to let him have time off.
I was actually really enjoying the time off.
I bet you were.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
But you can also find Andy over at our Dungeons & Dragons channel, where he kills all of the players because he forgets how low our health was.
That is true. Yeah, you guys die quick.
Not
Very,
this guy.
very spongy.
The goal of Comics Experiment going forward is going to be to constantly change the set around to something new in the area to make it kind of interesting.
We should do it
Today we're at a
outside.
bar. This is bar a la Chateau
outside.
Benny.
By his fountain thing. And we'll just have to pee the whole
We'll
time.
just sit on the ground.
Yeah.
I have a bench out there we can use.
Yeah,
That's
I still say we
stupid.
sit on the ground, though.
Yeah.
It's better for your back.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, so today we're going to talk about the times that Batman has died. Andy, how do you kill Batman?
With a gun.
So
When
there's
he's,
our show.
when he's not looking. You distract him,
Yeah.
right?
Let's
say you kidnap a family and murder them. Just hypothetically.
You know.
And then when he's distracted, you shoot him.
Right. Well, see, I brought this up
Twice.
because that's one thing I've
Double
never
tap.
I never
Always
really
double
thought about.
tap.
Why don't the villains that are
Well,
actually
they do,
that are
but it's
try-
comic books, and Batman's able to dodge bullets.
Why don't they?
This is really a thing. Don't try it at home. Trust me.
I'm Batman? Look at me dodge a
Look at me
bullet.
dodge bullets. It's not really a thing. No.
Be a very short comic.
It's also like action movie style where everybody has terrible aim.
Yeah. Well,
That's true.
but I always just wondered
That
why
true.
like villains have captured Batman many
Yes.
times.
Why don't you just walk over and pop him?
Right.
Yes, but
Yeah.
this is the same argument as why don't they just take his mask off?
That is a good point. Yeah.
Well, if you
They're
villains,
like, we've captured
ambiance.
him. We don't know who he is. Maybe we should figure it out.
well, like in the Riddler One Bad Day, he said he just doesn't care. He knew who he was.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Joker's argument is also Bruce Wayne's not interesting. I don't care.
Yeah.
So they know. But like
true.
Mr. Freeze would be funny. Like he figures out who Batman is, and this Batman comes back to Wayne Manor, and it's just frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he'd look at it and go, I should not have left the AC on.
Alfred, did you play with the thermostat again?
He's dead.
Oh,
No,
he's back. Kinda. Maybe.
Not if you read the last issue.
Wait, no, number 2.
Oh, you haven't read the last
read two.
issue. We're past
3's out?
2. Yeah.
Oh, we're at 3.
Yeah.
Andy, this week I need you to write Batman and Robin issue 3.
I'm good. You've already given me a list of crap you want that you desperately need, apparently. So
I desperately need
he
everything.
needs this.
All right, so I got 2 lists for this one. We're going to go off a game rant one that they made specifically for Gotham Knights.
Okay.
Which,
and I don't
based on
know
the
who wrote
first
this
one-
list, but that person is an idiot.
The first one on this list, though, is one in continuity that I was unaware happened.
Oh, man.
Is it when he didn't really die but went back in time?
No.
Oh, okay.
Is it the
Yeah,
time
I guess-
that he thought he died, but he didn't?
Or that other time they thought he died but he didn't.
Or that other time that they thought he died.
Or that other time.
There's a-
Is it the Dionysium pit with Joker?
Yep. Said he was dead.
Do we have any more guesses?
Dad
Literally
came
the next
back.
panel, he's standing there. Kind of ruined that.
This is a similar one to that one.
Okay.
Death of the Justice League?
Oh,
No.
that's a solid one. Also
That
didn't die though.
just
Went until a
happened?
Clockwork Gotham or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Steampunk Gotham.
Steampunk,
Whatever.
that's right.
That's Clockwork. A lot of gears in steampunk for some reason. I'm not really 100% sure why. Anyway, I got no more guesses.
It's a steam engine.
I
with
forgot this
gears.
happened, but in the Court of the Owls, his heart stopped at some
Oh,
point.
yes. Yeah.
I forgot. So they're counting that as a death.
I mean,
unless he's like, I make this argument. I made this argument before when we talked about, I think it was Dick Grayson dying when the crime syndicate shows up, and they're like, well, he stopped his heart for like 30 seconds. I'm like, well, this doesn't count. Unless you bury the person, I don't count it.
Okay.
all right,
Boom.
What is our time frame?
So
What's our
this one-
time frame
the time
from
frame
death
for this
to
one-
coming back?
Jason was dead for like 30 years.
Yeah,
that
we'll
counts.
count that. We'll
I'll
count
give
that.
it to him. He had a gravestone and everything.
People went and memorialed
Yes,
him.
yes. There was a whole thing in the Batcave. I'll give that one.
This says apparently he had the heart attack in the Talons area and then washed up on the bay where Bluebird revived him.
Oh, yeah.
So how long can you be alive if your heart stopped? Can you just be revived?
If you're Batman, forever. Real
'Cause let's
person,
be
probably
honest.
like 5 minutes.
He probably didn't have his heart stop. He's trained to slow it down.
That's true. Yeah.
so
When it starts
slow.
to stop, he
Yeah.
just slows it so it doesn't.
He just
He learned that from somebody in the Orient. I don't know.
I wouldn't even believe it. There's like a hidden chapter.
He's like,
of his
yeah, I
training.
met a guy in Malaysia that taught me how to do that.
On number 2 in this list is already out of continuity. Over on Earth 3, Thomas Wayne Jr., the older brother, killed Bruce Wayne
Right.
to secure the fortune.
But then he came back as Owlman.
No, Thomas Wayne is the original Owlman.
Oh, sorry. I don't know.
I don't know that one.
Thomas Wayne Jr. becomes supervillain known as Owlman, twisted criminal version of Batman with a similar philosophy regarding fear. In Owlman's reality, Dick Grayson become the sidekick Talon instead of Robin.
Well, if we're talking out of continuity or not main universe, the only one that I can think of that truly died was Earth 2.
That is next on our list.
Is it?
Self-sacrifice against Steppenwolf.
He totally exploded.
Yeah. You can't
That
come
one
back
counts.
from that.
No, that one counts.
He never did come back. Superman did.
No, it was a Dark Side clone
Oh,
of
that's right.
Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he kind of came back.
Yeah.
But Batman never came
No,
back.
no, never did.
Nope.
They had a new Batman.
Well, wasn't it Dick Grayson? Yeah, there was the 2 options.
They had Thomas Wayne for a little while,
Yeah.
who became Bat Hour Man.
Where did Thomas Wayne show up from, though? Was it?
He was
the
just
Flashpoint?
alive. He was alive in Earth 2.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't actually killed in
Okay.
Earth 2. Yeah.
I was gonna say,
It was a different Thomas Wayne Batman.
because Thomas Wayne Batman came back at the button.
Yeah, no,
Earth
it's
2
a
was way
different
before that.
Thomas.
But
This-
I wouldn't put it past DC to be like, and Flashpoint Batman's here.
No, Earth
They
2
do that a
Batman
lot.
was actually a drug addict.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so Bruce
they all
wanted
thought
nothing
he
to
was
do.
dead.
Yes.
That
And
was
then, But
it.
then he shows up to honor Bruce by becoming Batman, but he also was still a drug addict. So
Yeah.
he used the Miraculu, whatever that.
It was basically
They get-
Venom.
Yeah.
The equivalent
Oh,
to
the-
Venom.
Well, it
Yeah.
gives him superpowers for
The
an hour.
Miraclo or
yeah,
something.
Miraclo. Thank you.
It was an equivalent to Venom that made more sense
Yeah.
for him to be a superhero with.
And then he died, and Dick Grayson became Batman
This one's kind
with
of
like a
cheap
trench
too.
coat.
Because
something. I don't
that
know.
makes sense.
So this one's in continuity. The time that Joker killed Batman over and over and over in a time loop.
No, doesn't count.
Emperor Joker.
No,
we
doesn't
really
count.
should do that story.
No.
I mean, if it's in a time loop, that by
No, doesn't count.
like he doesn't die.
Yeah. If
He
you
comes
just
back.
go back 5 minutes, it doesn't count.
just go back 5 minutes.
Doesn't matter.
That's like Control Zing the death.
Yeah.
And the last one you guys already mentioned. So let's see if you can guess what this one is.
The Dynesium.
No.
Oh.
Dark Side.
Oh, yeah. When he goes back in time. Didn't
which-
count. He
yeah.
didn't die.
Yeah, it's like he didn't die. So if it,
Well, he died until they decided that he went back in time.
no, that was immediate.
No, it was like immediate.
Is it- was it
yeah, it was like
immediate?
the
Oh.
next. It was like the end of the book.
Well, between those 4 pages,
Yeah,
he
like-
was
So,
dead.
in Final Crisis, the corpse of Batman was found.
that is true.
Yes.
What
Yes.
actually happened was he was sent back in time, and what was discovered was a clone from Darkseid, I believe.
Something weird.
It wasn't actually Batman, but it was a clone in the Batman suit.
But they needed something for Superman to hold and go.
Yeah, so you have that cover.
Okay.
So the actual Batman then got sent through time, and the idea was that he would constantly jump through time, quantum leap style,
Yep.
charging an internal battery.
was a
That when he
barbarian.
came back, he would then like unleash this into like the world and blow
He
everything
was,
up.
he was the barbarian that accidentally started the cult for Barbados.
He did.
Did he really?
Yeah, like legitimately.
That's funny. Okay.
He also solved his own parents' murders or something like that.
Well, he was in the 1930s. I don't think he solved his own parents' murder.
It was something related to the Waynes, though.
his
That
grandparents'
dealing with them,
murder.
yeah.
He actually became his own.
He was a pirate?
His own grandpa.
He, did
He
the
was a
nasty in the
pirate,
past.
too.
He was a pirate. Yeah.
Oh.
Because the way it would work is whenever he'd
I think
go
he
into
was
the
a
time period, he
cowboy.
would just have amnesia again.
Yeah.
So he'd have to get established in the new area.
And for some reason, every single one of them had a bat themed.
It was a bad
He's like, I
cow.
can't figure this out. Why I keep going towards this bat thing? I don't know.
Oh man.
He ends up at the end of time, right, with Rip Hunter and them?
Something
and that's
like
where the
that.
explosion
I
was
don't
supposed to
know.
happen?
He's just wildly gone.
It was Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
I will
At
say
his most Grant Morrison.
Yeah, right. If Joker rewinding time and continuously killing him counts, then technically the Fortnite crossover should be on there because he had to die each loop before the loop restarted.
There you go. When
those
I
who-
play as Batman, he dies all the time.
For those who don't know, Fortnite has an official in-continuity crossover where Batman, all the villains go through the portal is the excuse. Like they go through the portal to the 0 point, which is Fortnite, and Batman follows. But the way the loop works is you're constantly forgetting why you're there. So Batman, in the most Batman thing ever, was writing notes on his armor. So every time he would loop, he'd remember things.
Realistically, if I was Batman and all of my rogues went through a portal, I'd be like, woof, Gotham's going to be a lot safer. Close. I don't know why he has like a garage door button for it.
The best part of that one, though, was when he fights against Snake Eyes and they start like sign languaging to each other.
They were signaling that, like, because they both had been figuring it out the whole
Yeah.
time.
Well, if anybody's going to, it's going to be Snake Eyes.
And Snake Eyes was the only one that like stood a chance against Batman.
Sure.
Because Batman just kept winning the loops.
That makes sense. They're just Batman.
But I thought it was the most Batman thing ever. Like, well, if I'm going to keep getting amnesia, it was like Memento.
Yeah.
Yep.
This one's bad. This one's good. Go check out this spot.
Buy toilet paper.
You will regret it.
Exclamation point. Exclamation point.
The next loop. No, really, I mean it.
Seriously, underline.
All right, so the other list I got was from CBR, the times that Batman died. And this one starts with out of continuity, so I'm assuming they're going to be out of continuity ones.
This person is also an idiot.
They started theirs off. There's 15 of these. Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
He dies at the end of that. But then he
No,
doesn't.
he doesn't.
He has a heart attack and
It's
then comes
literally
back.
at the end. He actually, that one, he legitimately only slowed his heart to the point where they thought he was dead. So he didn't even actually die for any length of time.
So, okay, what's your line for the person who wrote this?
I don't know who wrote it, but the person is an idiot. I'm just saying, comics have a very loose definition of death, apparently.
Yeah, no, they definitely do.
I'm going to slow my heart down to nothing.
Literally, it was like a beat every, I forget what it was, but it was like every 15 minutes or something
Yeah.
like that.
Earth 2
try to
Batman
fool
is on here
Superman.
again. Yeah,
Yep, Earth 2.
but it was Superman who knew, right? He knew
He heard it at the very end and
Yeah, he knew he
didn't
was still
do
alive.
anything, yeah.
Earth 2 Batman's back on here.
Sure,
Earth 2 Batman's was epic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
He was
stuck.
trying to take down one of the, like,
The
apocalypse
spires.
engines or something like that, yeah.
This one I don't remember, and I swear I saw this movie. The Batman Bad Blood movie, he dies?
Well, the Bad Blood movie was when he's taken by the Court of Owls.
Okay.
And Dick, it's like a weird mashup of a bunch of different comic book.
Yeah, it was the concept
Dick
of
takes over as Batman.
Battle for the Cowl.
Yeah.
Those are the concept
And
of it.
Batwoman shows up, and also Batwing is there, and then the Court of the Owls is there.
So
It's
this
all
one's
of it.
listed. They even say it right here. Batman isn't really dead. He's abducted by Talia al Ghul and influenced with Mad Hatter.
Talia al Ghul, that's it. That's not the Court of Owls, it's Talia, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
the one
love
where the Man-Bat ninjas show up.
So he's not dead again. So we have two on
The
here.
list. Times he Batman died.
All right, so
list.
he's not really dead.
So he didn't actually die.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. This list
This
is
is
the
bullshit.
Dead Knight. 15 times Batman
This
died.
is reaching to the point where you're not even, you even admit in the list, he did not die.
It's so what it should be is times people thought Batman
There
was
you
dead.
go.
There
That would actually
you
work
go.
as a title.
Or the times Batman tricked the world that he was dead.
But then you have like Earth 2, which is he actually does
Yeah,
die.
actually died.
So you got to be
Red
like the
Sun?
times Batman died slash died.
We got Red Sun.
That one he actually died.
Right, but he was also terrible in that one, wasn't he?
Well,
Wasn't he just a terrorist?
he was a well, yes, but he was fighting against communism. So
Where's the line?
fighting against communism, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but yes, he was an anti-communist terrorist.
Right.
Yes, who blew himself up trying to kill Superman.
I don't know this story. Maybe you do. Birth of the Demon which is the backstory of Ra's al Ghul, and in the present, Batman is fighting Ra's while trying to take out the Lazarus Pit so that Ra's can no longer revive himself. This gets turned on its head as Bruce is mortally wounded while fighting Ra's and makes a decision to use the pit on himself or both of them. Fortunately, he decided to save both of them. So he didn't die.
But he was dying, apparently.
Does it count?
No! That's going to be our new thing. Does it count or not? No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
We've got we got 2 actual deaths in this so far, and both of them are alternate realities, so they don't really count.
I actually just thought of one that I think is main reality, that he did technically die. I don't know what the event was, but I know that in Blackest Night, he was revived as a Black Lantern, meaning he did actually die prior to that.
No. So the one that was revived, the one that revived was apparently the Darkseid clone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because that was when Dick Grayson was Batman.
Right. It was the only.
So it wasn't actually Batman.
The only
He
Black.
was busy in time.
He was. He's not even a lie. So it was turned into. That's why they had to have an excuse as to who was the dead one. It was the clone that got brought back, and so he wasn't as effective as normal Batman, which is how
Comics are
Dick Grayson
awful.
beat him.
They are, because I thought I had one. I was like, he came back.
No,
It works.
he was busy in time starting the Barbados cult that would totally come back to bite him in the ass
And
later.
being a pirate just for fun.
And just being a pirate for fun.
I mean,
we've all been there.
obviously.
The Going Sane storyline. So there's the one where Joker thinks he killed Batman. Without Batman, he becomes a normal person.
Yes.
Only
Oh,
discover
yeah.
Batman survived, and then he
Right.
becomes the
Wasn't
Joker.
dead. Doesn't count.
And he becomes the
Yeah.
Joker again.
Because that one, he goes by Joe Kerr. That was his name.
You don't want to reach too hard
Yeah.
for the name. What's your name, Joe? What's your last name? Kerr.
Okay, number 9 is another one. The end of the Dark Knight trilogy.
No.
He doesn't die.
He doesn't die. Alfred sees him at a cafe in France.
Which I never understood that ending. Okay, I never understood that one. Think about that for a moment.
Sure.
Alfred thinks he's dead.
Yes.
And he's managed to make Alfred think he's dead.
Right.
And then he
Because Bruce
signals,
is a dick.
Right, because Bruce
Yes.
is my adopted father. I'm not even going to tell him
Yes.
or leave a message or a clue.
No, I'm just going to go to that same cafe and hope that maybe he shows up because he talked about it that one time.
Right. And so Alfred shows up, sees him, and Bruce is like,
Doesn't even get up to say hi.
no hug.
But that
no
was-
hug.
that
Wait,
was-
so
that
the end
was-
scene of the Christian Bale Batman
Yes,
movie?
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's,
Okay.
that's what he's talking
Where
about.
Alfred assumes
We are
he's
talking
dead.
that
Yeah,
one.
and then
Okay.
Bruce just gets up like,
Yeah.
I'm alive.
All right, just making sure
there
we're
were a
talking
lot
about
of
the
good
same
things
one.
about the Christopher Nolan Batman. There was a lot of things that weren't so good when you actually look back on them.
Yeah, I know. That was the funny part.
Yeah.
I
But
thought
again,
we
he
were
didn't
talking
die.
comics. I didn't make the connection. We had swapped
Oh,
to
I
the movie.
see.
That's why I
Well,
was
this
like,
one had the animated movie too. Bad
I
Blood.
know that,
Yeah.
but in my head, I was like, that's the exact scene they used in the movie.
Christopher Nolan's a hack. He just stole that from a comic book.
We're going to do the MCU arguments now.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one was Emperor Joker. We already covered that one. But the one after that, number 7, is writers discuss the concept of having a clearly determined death for Batman being necessary as a part of writing a Batman story. In the case of Batman and all-star scribe Scott Snyder, who began this story in the New 52's Detective Comics 27 anthology issue, showing a future where there is still a Batman and he is Bruce Wayne.
I actually like that story.
The twist turns out that he's talking to another older Bruce Wayne, and Snyder's take is that Bruce Wayne would not allow the idea of Batman to die. Therefore, he created a way to download his memories and skills to pass on to the future through a cloning process. This idea would be more
Wildly
fleshed out in
convoluted.
the upcoming finale of
Very
All-Star
Batman.
Batman when Snyder rejoined by the artist for this tale, Sean Murphy. So I guess technically he dies in that one. I actually like that idea because isn't that how he comes back from the Dynasium? That
Yes,
machine.
actually the machine. Yeah.
He dies in the Dynasium.
Yeah.
And he becomes normal Bruce Wayne, but he realizes something's off and
Right.
discovers that he was Batman.
Yep.
And there is a machine that will implant the
all
memories.
his memories. Yeah.
Why has that idea not been revisited
Because
at all?
Scott Snyder isn't writing Batman anymore.
Well, yeah, but you could easily revisit the idea. Like that we have a way
Tom
to
King was doing his own convoluted crap. He
because
couldn't bring up
so I have an idea for a great Batman story.
doubtful, but go
That
ahead.
machine exists. What if Roz gets his hands on that machine and creates an army of Batmen?
Well, didn't they sort of do that in Detective Comics where they developed an army of Batmen?
Wait, did
It
they?
was like a military group.
Oh, yeah, but that wasn't real
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah,
They were
yeah,
just using the tech. I was like, imagine Batman fighting a guy who downloaded
Like
the memories
an
of Batman.
army of Batmen.
Yeah, like
Well,
actual.
it's also similar to like when Talia made her own Batman clones or
or
something.
what's going
AKA
on in Chip
Damien?
Zdarsky's
Yeah, yeah.
anti-failsafe one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Where he made a robot that just thinks like
So it's
him.
just like it's. I mean, it's very much a common problem in comics right now is that you have a very similar idea to like 8 other stories.
But you know what? If you want me to write it, I will do.
Then I'll have to clean it up and
Yep.
fix it.
Yep.
It's bullshit. But no, I always like that idea where he basically becomes a brand new Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, good luck. I'm leaving.
The next one is what happened to the Caped Crusader, which shows throughout the multiverse that
Yes.
Batman repeatedly does die, but there will always be a Batman. That's
Yes.
the point of that. Batman can never truly die. Right. That was a great
Seriously,
story.
writers won't let him.
I actually saw, I read another list looking for this one. It was stories that won't translate into a game or movie.
No, that wouldn't work.
And one of them was what happened to the Caped Crusader.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
Normal comic book fans don't want to just see Batman dying over and over with the message of Batman will always live.
Although it would be funny.
There would be so many complaints on that one.
I
It'd be
know.
one of the most divisive movies ever.
I know.
Comic fans would be like, this is incredible, and I get the message.
You could probably do it as an animated feature.
I could see that.
Not as a
Yeah.
live
like a bunch of
action.
shorts back to back. Someone's watching them.
It's just a live action. And you get every actual Batman actor to come back and die. So
Okay, but would that not
That
be-
would be awesome.
Keaton Kundu West, he actually died.
Oh,
R.I.P.
that's a time Batman.
R.I.P. But yeah, you
that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Rest in
Bale,
peace.
yeah.
Clooney, Val Kilmer.
Well, Val Kilmer's got throat cancer. I don't think he could do it
no,
either.
Didn't he recover? He's got permanent damage.
Well,
from
yeah,
it.
he's got damage. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be an awesome movie. Just-
Affleck.
Let's do it
he'd
with
be fine
Spider-Man
it.
too.
He
We
just wants to die.
Imagine how much hate Sony would get if they bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield again
And kill
to
them?
kill them.
I like it. Really stick it to the fans.
Right.
Well,
Hey
everyone-
guys, we met another Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and he dies first 10 minutes.
Remember, everyone thought they were going to kill Tobey, and that was the original script,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
internet was like, "We will riot."
I mean, it would have been a nice sacrifice, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 5 on this list is Endgame. That was
Batman
the
wasn't
Elysium.
even in that movie.
Nice.
Endgame Batman.
Oh, sorry.
Elysium moment.
Yeah, that was the
Him and Joker
Elysium,
finally
where
pass
he
on.
doesn't actually die.
Which I
However, no, actually, I will give that one credit because you cannot be revived unless you die.
and I will argue that Batman died, Bruce Wayne did not.
That's a terrible
That's
argument.
a terrible argument.
Well, there's always been an argument that Bruce Wayne.
of Batman is dead. What? Doesn't even make any sense.
It's not. They keep going at him, and they're like, "Be Batman again."
Well, the
It's
worst part
true.
about that is that it's not even the idea is dead because then they just made Robot Ear James Gordon Robot.
Bunny Batman.
Bunny Bats. Good old Bunny Bats.
That was such a weird time in DC. We had Bunny Bats, no powered Superman.
Yep.
Yeah, Jim
Green
Gordon
Lantern, what-
de-aged
Green
20
Lantern turned
years.
into
Yeah.
it.
It turns out he just needed to start working out.
Yeah.
That was when Hal Jordan was like, "I'm not a Green Lantern, but I have this gauntlet of Green Lantern
And
power,
a hoodie.
and I don't know what a haircut
And
is."
really
he's like-
long hair.
He's like, I've cut my hair, I got a hoodie and a gauntlet and a spaceship.
I remember reading that
There's a lot
one.
of weird stuff in the New 52.
I remember reading that one and just looking at it going, who's this female Green Lantern with a gauntlet?
Well, they were
She's
drew,
hot.
They drew him very feminine.
They
for that
did.
period.
Yeah, they did.
It was like he's got long hair, so now he's got very feminine features.
Dan's like, I'm loving the new Green Lantern. I'm pretty sure that's just Jessica Cruz, isn't it? No, dude,
That
that's
Green
Hal
Lantern is
Jordan.
hot.
What?
I totally want to. I'm gonna.
You mean
Rule
Hallie
34
Jordan?
that.
Hallie Jordan.
Okay, this is another one. This list is from 2017, so maybe he wasn't back yet. No, he was. And Tom King at this point. Flashpoint Batman. He died in the
Also
epic
didn't
finale of The
die.
Button where he's like, "Go on without me," and he dies.
And then just turns out he went into the next room and decided he was going to hang out for like 70 issues and do
and then
stupid
go,
shit.
"Oh, now I found a way home. Bruce needs to stop being Batman."
God.
Look,
Also
okay.
doesn't count and also just a terrible
For the
story.
record, I liked Tom King's run, but I will admit the use of Flashpoint Batman felt like corporate overlords were like, you need to put him in there because his use in that run made no goddamn sense.
Like most of the run.
He just shows up at issue 50 like, I'm totally making him not Batman anymore. Why are you here? Why
Why?
are you a villain? What are you doing?
And how are you doing that? I'm pretty much just smacking him around.
Stop being Batman.
Stop being Batman! Can't you see how awful I've made it? God, it's such a dumb story. Keep going with the list of more things that don't count.
I Am Gotham? I don't think I read this one. Technically, this hasn't happened yet, but Tom King's Batman run, thus, I
Which
Am
we
Gotham.
can guarantee is going to be awesome. See, the person writing this is an idiot.
This is a whole thing about where Gotham Girl's narrating a one-page. She informs readers that she is responsible for killing Batman. Coming at the heels of the death of her brother, the spot where he died becomes the spot where Batman died.
We're talking
So she-
about the crazy girl.
Yeah, and she implies that she kills Batman in that spot.
Right, and
Which
she
maybe
obviously-
was like where Tom King was going. Imagine if the Indy killed Batman.
Sure.
I mean, he wouldn't have. It would have come back immediately.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have to be dead to have the Black Lantern ring?
Yes, that's the rule.
Technically.
Because in
Yes.
death
The rule-
metal, Batman
can
has
show-
But
the-
he is dead. He tells Wonder Woman that
admits he died.
bingo.
He actually did die. Yeah,
Belongs on the
I
list.
guess that
He
technically
died.
does work.
He
yeah.
admits he died in that one, and he's only alive because of the Black Lantern.
Exactly. So that belongs on the
Because
list.
the rule of the Black Lantern ring is you have to have fully died at some point. And the idea
go
behind the
better.
Black Lantern ring was everybody who died, the door was left open a crack so that the Necron could show up and do
What door?
the green door.
Hey, guys, what's that door over there?
It's
Where?
left open a crack.
Over there. It's left open a crack.
The next one
What's
is
that weird guy coming in
And
for?
Necron's like, hey guys,
You want some
you
rings?
want to hang out?
And the next one is the night Batman died. I did not read this one. It's a 70s story in which every villain thinks they killed Batman.
That would be
Apparently,
kind of cool. Actually, I would love to read that.
They did
for,
they did an episode of the animated series based off of that too.
Oh, did
Really?
they? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a late 70s story. It's a bit of a hidden gems in terms of its style and clever swerves. Divided into 4 parts, Catwoman, Riddler, Lex Luthor, and Joker give their accounts to Ra's al Ghul, who is serving as the judge, explaining how they are responsible for killing the Batman. The prosecutor is none other than the former district attorney, Harvey Dent, Two-Face. It's a fun story that has a lot of great moments and a cool mystery. Catwoman's conflicting feelings for Batman versus a life of crime are clear. Riddler impersonating Bruce Wayne after he thinks he killed Batman, having no idea of the irony. Lex Luthor's arrogance is a perfect pitch, and Joker's story brings the whole thing together as we find out all is not as it seems, and Batman knows his villains better than they know themselves. So he's not dead. So
No, he's not dead. Doesn't count.
I would love to read a story of all the Batman villains just sitting around and telling their story of how they would kill Batman. Is that what this
that's
is?
the episode of the animated series.
Oh,
They're
is
all
it?
sitting around playing poker,
Okay, because that would be
talking
awesome.
about
Isn't that
how,
also-
how they almost got Batman?
Oh, how they almost because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
and
like
that's very
if they
much the
just
same thing as the night the what happened to the Cape Crusader.
Yeah,
It's the villain
yeah,
sitting
yeah,
around
yeah.
going, "This is how I did it."
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
And then at the end, it turns out Batman is actually dressed as Killer Croc and beats them all up.
Yep, I remember that one. I like that one, yeah.
that
But the
makes
best part
it
is
so
when
much
they get
better.
to Killer Croc, because you obviously don't know it's Batman until
Yeah.
like the very end episode. So it gets to Killer Croc, and Joker's like, "How'd you do it, Croc?" And he's like, "I hit him with a rock." And everybody just like stares at him, and he's like, "It was a big rock."
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so
That's
number
good.
one
It's
is
a good
Batman
episode.
R.I.P. in Final Crisis. I mean, we already touched on Final Crisis.
didn't die.
Yeah, and that's just it, because Batman R.I.P. is Simon Hurt, who eventually goes to fight Nightwing, which was a great part of the Nightwing Rebirth run, when Hurt showed up and then made Deathwing. I stitched together your exact opposite.
Which doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't that person be really crappy?
Yeah,
Like Dick Grayson's in Nightwing is a solid
and they have an inverted
super-
butt.
Yeah, like he's like highly agile, great at combat. So his exact opposite would be like this
Huey.
dumpy guy who can't throw a punch to save his life.
But R.I.P. he
So
doesn't die
Huey.
either. He just gets like a drug addiction and comes up with the ultimate
yeah.
backup plan, which is cool. Final Crisis, he doesn't die, as we discovered.
Yeah.
It's a clone, is what. I don't remember. Did they reveal right away that it was a clone?
No,
or did
I
they
don't
just
think
throw
so.
Batman in time and they were like, "You figure it out later"?
I think they were like, you figure it, because then Tim Drake goes on like his whole quest as Red Robin to like old school Red Robin to like prove that Bruce is still alive, and everyone's like, "No, he's dead." What are
Right,
you talking
yeah.
about? And he's like, "No, I've been getting weird messages from like Neanderthal Bruce."
They just did that in Batman Superman, which was a great story. It was a 5-issue story where they were trying to fight Nezha before he goes into Batman.
Oh,
versus
Oh yeah,
Robin.
the demon ninja.
And then number 6 is like Robin got lost in time.
Well, yeah, because Supergirl dropped him.
Which I thought was like because they really, because if you look at it, she's really upset and like
Yeah.
they're all upset, and I'm like, she just dropped him. She didn't do it. She just like whoopsie.
Yeah, it was like an accident. They hit like a time storm or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
that was funny.
Which was made for a great issue, by the way. Him
Oh yeah, yeah.
back
where
in
they-
Haley
and then
Circus.
Bruce and Superman apparently have no problem finding him. You're just like, hey Dick.
They give like a reason behind
I
it.
forget,
Like
yeah.
he left a message or something.
They can't find some of their villains, but their sidekick lost in time.
time.
Well, she conveniently didn't drop him too far back. It was
No,
only-
it was like in the 30s or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So that's everything. That's all the deaths of Batman. I think like 3 of those
I was
actually
gonna
count.
say 3 of them are actual deaths.
It's funny because before this, we were having a discussion. We're like, haven't we discussed how many times Batman has died? And we searched and searched and searched. We found every Batman's murdered, Batman used a gun, Batman had illicit relations. Like we found everything we've done a video on.
Illicit relations.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna start referring to it as from now on.
We found like everything we've done, but we never did how many times has Batman died. And then Andy's exact response
Turns out
was,
2.
How many times has he actually died?
Actually died. Yeah. Twice.
Earth 2, death metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when they confirmed it, and it is in canon.
Yes. So
Earth 2's not in canon.
technically not.
Well, technically
Technically
kind of
it is, 'cause
do
they
interweave
come-
because of Huntress and Power
That is
Girl.
true.
Plus, with Justice League International, that confirms that it is technically in main continuity.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's it. That's today's comics experiment. Now, don't forget to check out the sponsor, Gamer Subs. Get yourself some waifu cups. Get yourself some t-shirts. Get yourself some awesome stuff. If you're watching...
It's inappropriate for the show.
Use the code COMICS at checkout. Get 10% off of your order. And don't forget to check out Absolutely Marvel and DC, our podcast channel where Dan and I talk with Sal, Dylan, and Hassan on a regular basis about everything going on in the world of superhero movies and comic books and TV shows. Andy's only on this show because we tried setting up a web camera and a microphone at his house one time. It was during COVID, and it was about like a month of him complaining that it was in his house.
Awful. I didn't like it at all. Just a lot of extra crap I had to deal with.
I didn't like it either because
you had to come over and
I
do
had to
it.
come over and fix it when it.
The trick is, if you refuse to learn something, Dan will get sick of having to fix it, and they'll eventually take it away.
Strategy.
Or you get fired. It was a real big gamble you were taking with that one.
It worked out well for me, though.
High risk, high reward.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time right here at Comics Experiment, where I get together on a regular basis with these two chuckle nuts. Using your word.
Don't steal my stuff.
And don't forget to check us out over at Dungeons and Ale, where we're currently playing Dungeons & Dragons. Andy's the DM, and I keep dying. At what
He
point
got
are you
better.
At what point are you going to get tired of just finding ways for me to come back?
Never.
He's the Batman of our campaigns and keep dying, but then he comes back.
Although, to be fair, he actually did die.
It's true.
Yeah. But he still came back.
He still came back.
Yeah, I'll have to fix that.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time right here.